Hello everyone and welcome back to a video. So it's been a very long time. I am well aware of that. But today I've actually been back in Satisfactory, not just because of the new update, which is not going to be a part of this video here, but we will be making some other videos in the near future. So just kind of be aware of that. But today what we're looking at is my first ever nuclear design. So I've never really done a nuclear power plant before, and over the past week I've really been trying to work on a design that I think works really well, and that's also very compact. So in total, this design is actually a 16 by 17 size with 2 reactors, and that is all inclusive. So that is everything it needs to make the parts to run the reactor, and also everything to get rid of the nuclear waste and everything, or where to store it. So we will get into all of that, but I want to show you, before we even get into the one that we are showing you, I want to show you guys my process of how this all started and the different scale options. So you can kind of see here, 2 reactors just like that. And I will say the 16 by 17 does not include the train station that is going into this as well. But here's another reactor that I made, and this was my first true compact design that I tried to go with, and this was only with 1 reactor. It's still pretty compact. I think it's actually less compact than this one over here with 2 reactors, but we'll get into why that is. And then this was my first major one. This is the one to where I tried doing 2 reactors, everything laid out, storage, everything like that. You can just see the true scale of it compared to the 2 reactors over here, how much more small it really is. And my first ever attempt was actually this one over here that's not finished. This one was more of a general layout purpose, to kind of see like what all I needed, how much space I needed to, I just hit my face in the mic, how much space I actually needed to get all of this working. So now with all of that kind of going, I'm not going to go into these ones over here, and the only reason why is just I don't really see the point, because we're not really focusing on those. We're focusing on these in here. And now what makes this even better is we're using some alternate recipes to make life a little bit easier for us on scale purposes. But here's the really cool thing. I'm not really having to tune up any of the machines. I forgot what they're called, but overclock. I'm not having to overclock any of the machines. So like I said, everything is all included in this to run and make the items that you need for nuclear power. So that's what's super exciting about this. So let's get into it. So first we have the train station. So this is what would bring in all of the ores. Now the reason why, if we kind of fly, I know I'm kind of flying around, if we fly back up, all of this white area is the train station. So if you didn't want to have a train station, then this build is a 16 by 17. So it's 17 wide, 16 long. So again, that's not including the train station, but I wanted to make that clear because you don't have to use the train station if you did want to replicate this design. So just kind of be aware of that. So we would bring the ores in. We're going to drop them all off here. We're separated by these walls here, so you can see the different type of ores, and we are making our uranium, everything that we need to actually run the reactors right now, so you will see it running. There is still some room for efficiency and improvements with this. We actually might be able to overclock the reactor as well with this design, because we're actually not running everything at its full potential, so that's kind of a neat way to look at it. I did have some doors in here, but it was kind of weird. My game crashed when I was doing some stuff, and then I lost some of the progress that I did make. So let's go on the inside and look at everything. So here you can see a lot of conveyor belts. So in total, with a reactor like this, you have seven different types of ores that we need to get around. So here in this first room, what we're actually making is we're making the encased industrial pipes. So the reason why we're making these is to make our uranium, what are they actually called? And fuel rods? Yes, to make fuel rods, we actually need those to be into the manufacture. So that's one of the first parts that we do need. You can see limestone here because we're going into making concrete over here. Now, here's what I was saying about overclocking, because this is actually not at 100%. You can see it's at 30% because we only need 1.2 per minute going into our manufacturer. So what I actually did was turn off one of the constructors here that's making our concrete, and the reason for that is, again, I'm just not necessarily needing it, and this one is at 47%. So again, there's a lot of room for overclocking here on the main reactor, but I'm not really focusing on that at the moment. I'm just kind of focusing on kind of the main stuff and just getting the reactor up, and then we can figure out what we can actually fine-tune here. One thing you will see here is these covered conveyor belts. This is actually one of the mods that I downloaded. This is actually what is going to be taking our nuclear waste and taking it into our storage. So I kind of like wanted to separate it because it's like, you know, that toxic waste. So what I did was kind of put these covers over it. So if you're wondering what those are, that's exactly what that is. So if we keep coming down, here we have the manufacturer. So the manufacturer is the one making the nuclear fuel rods. So this one is at 70%. So you can see we're running at 100% efficiency. Here's all the different parts that we need per minute. So again, that 1.2 encased industrial beam, we have 1.2 being made. We need 2 per minute on the electromagnetic control rod, and then the encased uranium cell. So we're making all of that. It's about 80%, so we'll come back. But pretty much what it's going to do is it's going to discharge on the backside here, and it's going to take it into our nuclear reactors, which are over there, which again we will get into. I'm kind of running through the manufacturing side of all of this first. So over here on the ground floor, here's where we get really busy with conveyor, and there's kind of a funny reason behind this, because I actually forgot that I needed one more 2x3 room, and I had to run these uranium pellets all the way to the other side of the building. So that was kind of like one thing I did miss as well. So I was like, oh, I need to add that, and I added that literally last minute before I was getting ready to record last night. Then I realized I had to make that change, and then it was too late to record. So what we're making down here is actually our encased uranium cells. So those are 2 of the items that we have going into our manufacturer. So we had the control beams, or whatever, the industrial beams, and then we have these uranium cells, which leaves one more item, which are the control rods. Now you might be wondering, well, you're kind of out of room back here. Where else is that stuff? Well, it's actually above us, so we will get to that. Here is where we're storing all of the nuclear waste. So this isn't a permanent solution, because obviously we cannot get rid of nuclear waste at the moment, just like real life. So I think that's why they did that. But then what I did was I put all of these storage containers here, dual industrial size ones, so they're double stacked. And the reason why I did that is just so we can get as much time as possible from this design before we have to transport any of this to another facility to be stored. So that's kind of why I'm doing this. So again, you can see none of this is filled up yet. I don't even think we have any nuclear waste. I'm trying to think what the last one's going to be. Would be this top one. So maybe we don't even have any at the moment. So then we're up here on the second floor. So here's where we get into the more industrial side of things. So on this side, what you can actually see is where we're having a lot of the same layouts, but now we're just making some different items. So if we come in here, what we're making is a AI limiter. All right, so the reason why we're doing that is we need to take the stators and AI limiter that we're going to be making. The stators are over on the other side. I will show you that. But we need to take those into another assembler so we can make those control rods, which is what we need to make. So here we have copper coming in. We're making... So here we actually are overclocked, but we actually might be able to slow this down depending on how many parts per minute we need. So up here is like the only few parts that are overclocked with some of these machines. So this one, you know, if I really need to add more constructors, I think I could do that. But again, this is more of just a, you know, get everything laid out and then see what we can improve, because I wanted to make this as compact as possible. So here we just have a top view of our manufacturer over here. We come out here, you can kind of see the overview of it. We come in here, and now here's where we're making our stators. So we can come in here, you can see the stators that we're making running at 100% efficiency here, which is pretty nice because we are overclocked on the steel pipes, I believe. No, we're not actually. Or no, that's not the steel pipes. This is the steel pipes. Here, we're actually running at 80%. So again, more room for overclocking there. This one we can overclock, but we're already running at 60 per minute. We're using the alternate recipe. Actually, no, we're not for the quick wire. We're not. So yeah, we're actually running at 100% efficiency here. And what these are going to do is take these parts, and they're actually going to be going, if we follow our conveyor, it's going to come all the way down here. You can see the stators lined up. And then if we actually come down, you can see them going into this assembler here, which I forgot to show you guys. Is there a way in? Yep, here it is. So now we're making those electromagnetic control rods, which are then going to go into the manufacturer right next door. So then those are all 3 of the items that we do need to make are nuclear fuel rods, which we kind of saw one being made earlier. But that's actually not everything for the manufacturing side, because where are we making these pellets? So for that, what we're actually doing is coming in here, because we have a completely different room, and this is full of refineries and then one water pump, because the water pump, we're actually not even running at that big of efficiency. We're actually running at 100%, which is actually good for now, but before we weren't. So what we're actually doing is taking some of these ores like sulfur and uranium and making those uranium pellets. So here what we're doing is taking sulfur and water, so you can see I have the pipes color coordinated so we can actually see what it's taking. So here we're making sulfuric acid. Then we're going to discharge that sulfuric acid come through and then over to this other refinery where we're bringing in uranium and that sulfuric acid to make those uranium pellets. All right. And then what we're doing is taking that extra sulfuric acid that we do not need, and we're storing it into these storage buffers because we don't really need to take this anywhere. It's kind of just a waste right now. Now, if we did want to package this or send it to a different location, we do have ways to get this pipe out of here. So I left room on the backside to reroute pipes. So if we ever needed to get this somewhere else, we do have the option to do that. But for right now, we're just storing it. And if these ever just get full, all I do is I come in here and flush the system, and then we're good and we don't have to worry about it. So now what we need to do is just go into the main part of the actual system, which is the reactors. So we have the two reactors kind of front and center at the entire basis of this machine or this building, because this whole building is revolved around these two things. So what we're doing is splitting those electromagnetic control rods, and actually it's the nuclear fuel rods. We're just splitting them. Here, one's going this way, one's going into this one. Here you can see that we have 5 lined up. Here you can see that we have 6 lined up. So one thing you are going to see is that we're actually not running at, max efficiency. We're running at 5%. That's just because this building is just connected to itself. So it's actually not running at max efficiency. We're not really utilizing all of the power that this, nuclear power plant can create. But we do have the option to just keep expanding. We do have the option to overclock. So we have a lot more options. But this was my very first, very compact design for a nuclear power plant. So I'm actually pretty happy with how it turned out. I think I'm going to continue working on this design, though, to see what else could I improve, because I think there's still some areas that I can improve on. And one area that I definitely think we can improve on is adding a 3rd reactor or a 4th reactor. So I need to look at ways I can do that, because I'm kind of intrigued to see what other options are available. Because obviously those nuclear fuel rods, they don't disperse too quick. They kind of last a while. So you can see that at some point, we're going to probably hit the maximum that we can actually get out of this. So we kind of need to be careful with that, because we don't want these to fill up too fast. Now with overclocking, that will go by faster. So maybe that solves the issue. But if we ever did want to make a nuclear power plant, I think this is definitely the design I would go with, because it's very, very simple. It's very compact. I can fit this anywhere on the map. You actually might see this show up on the base all the way on the other side of this map, where I'm actually doing that creative base. So yeah, that would be kind of interesting to have over there. Problem is with either uranium, you kind of want to be careful, because you don't want to keep that in places to where you're going to be all the time, because it can affect your machines. It can affect you if you don't have a hazmat suits. You kind of need to be aware of all that stuff. But yeah, this is my design, guys. So let me know what you guys think of this in the comments. And if there's anything else that you want to see me build, please let me know, because obviously we have more updates coming out. I want to see what kind of designs do you guys want to see next. We've done a lot of 3x3 stuff. I could make some updated videos for those, because some of the boundaries of the machines have changed. So I can make some more of those videos again. But yeah, if you want to see more stuff like this, just let me know in the comments, or any building tips, let me know in the comments as well. So I will talk to you guys later. Thank you very much for watching, and don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, because it really does help the channel grow, and then recommend these videos to other people, so we can just keep growing the brand and keep growing this channel to where I would really love to see it, and I think that would be a fantastic thing. So hopefully it won't be as long before you guys see me again as the last one. I just got burnt out. And I guess one last thing is, you will be seeing some different games on this channel. So I've kind of made up my mind. I'm going to be uploading some other games to this channel. One game you're going to be seeing here relatively soon is called Dual Universe. I know I keep rambling on, but I'm going to be uploading other games to this channel. So if I ever get burnt out on Satisfactory, I have those games to rely on and upload for you guys to bring you more content. So yeah, I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.